What I am really thinking through at a deeper level is this is actually a transformational moment. So when those symptoms appear, when that brain is remodeling, there is an opportunity for you to change yourself. And I know you talk about this in the book. So talk to me a little bit like I'm a 38, 39-year-old woman, and I'm just feeling those symptoms. What advice would you give about the brain symptoms that I'm feeling?
I would say number one is that right now is the time where you get to decide whether you're going to prioritize yourself or not. This is where the body is calling for a new level of support, because what got us here isn't going to get us to the next level, especially the next level of health and emotional well-being. So I think that that's the first step, is deciding that you deserve to feel amazing and that you deserve to thrive, that this is going to be a transition, but that you get to level up your self-care, your sleep, your all of the strategies, the health strategies that maybe you thought you could get away with up until now. We don't get to get away with that anymore. Also, this is an opportunity if things are shifting and it feels like it's happening without permission, because there's nothing worse than something being taken away from you, or feeling like it's getting taken away from you and you weren't given a warning sign for it. You weren't warned. And there have been moments where I have even grieved my earlier version of myself.
Oh, me too.
Yeah. So the woman who could just like full out sprint and not have to negotiate with herself, whether she's got capacity later on that day or the next week. And now I'm having to really shore up, and ask myself, what do you have capacity for? What do you have energy for? And then the next piece I always tell women is this is the opportunity for you to establish your boundaries, your non-negotiables, your relationships, the things that are going to move you forward in the next half of your life. And so if there are relationships, maybe it's familial, maybe it's friendships that have not been serving, it's time to shut up.
So true.
Even the relationship with yourself, if things are coming up for review that you've been running from or you've been pushing away, now is the time to address it. Now is the time to look in the mirror and get clear with what version of you want to take into the second half of your life. And then number 3, I think that big one is anchoring yourself to the health habits and being consistent with those health habits so that you are thriving, not just surviving in this transition, but also in the next.
I love that list. I would agree 1,000% with it. I can, again, going back to where I was, and it's interesting because at 55, I feel like I'm looking back at perimenopause and I'm like, oh, that's where I got stuck a little bit there and I got stuck a little bit there. Now, the 39, 40-year-old version of me would have said, I'm too exhausted to start to set boundaries and disappoint people. Like I can't, like I'm just trying to work and handle my family life. And now I need to stand up and tell people I'm not doing this anymore. I need to hold boundaries. I need to prioritize my wants. I haven't even been taught what my wants are. I think that is like that awakening and I love you called the book of the perimenopausal revolution, because I don't know if you use the revolution in this way, but the way I read it is like it's a revolution to start to take care of yourself first. But that transition, as you know, as a mother,
it's messy.
It's hard.
Yeah, no, my son is sick home today at 4 years old, and we debated. There was such a big part of me that wanted to just send him to school. He's not super sick,
right?
But my husband and I sat down and we were like, we have to make this work. We have to make. I've heard him like 4 times, girl.
Oh,
you know what I'm
so
saying?
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
Oh, my mama heart hurts for you.
And it's the messy middle. This is the journey that we're in. And so, yeah, if you're a woman who's listening and you're in your late 30s, early 40s, and you just heard me rattle off that list of like massive empowerment and stepping into yourself as a priority, and you're thinking to yourself, I'm just trying to pee by myself.
Right, exactly. Right.
Because I can't. That doesn't happen for me in my household.
Yeah, right.
That's not a boundary.
Peeing by yourself is a definite luxury.
Or even sleeping by myself most nights of the week. Like that's where I'm at. How many women have little children like me that, I mean, my son's in TK right now, not even kindergarten. We're not even there yet. And so that's where I'm at. And so where I started, one, I had to reconcile. When the changes began to happen, there was a bit of a denial at first. I kept thinking, like, maybe I could fix this. Maybe I can clean this up. And there's a lot of things that I've done to do so. Absolutely. Right. And some days are better than others. I wish all the hormone replacement therapy and all the lifestyle strategies and all the things are going to make every single one of your months, that last week of your luteal phase, magical and incredible, and make it feel like it did back in your 20s. I cannot guarantee that.
Right.
But what I can guarantee is if you even carve out 20 minutes for you, 20 minutes walking, 20 minutes breathing, 20 minutes reading a good fiction book, or maybe it's a nonfiction book, whatever brings you joy. The question I always love to ask myself is, what would help you feel good right now? Or how would you love to feel in the next 30 days? Like, just asking, I think those types of questions, and I have embedded those questions throughout the book, in the mindset chapter, in the movement chapter, because I think when we start to ask ourselves the potent questions that we have to answer for ourselves, that's when we start to make those decisions about, you're like, you know what, I'm not going to tolerate anymore. I'm not going to continue this way. And it doesn't have to be a big thing. It can just be a small thing, but it can be profound. Not all of these shifts need to be massive to make a difference. Some of them can be very, very small. It was my birthday over the weekend. And my son is...
Happy birthday!
Thank you. I turned 46 years old.
Nice.
And Kingston's sick. And so we canceled all the things, you know, mainly because I knew I had this beautiful interview with you, and I've got a bunch of interviews. But the one thing I was really clear on was time by myself. I wanted time to journal. I wanted time to go to the ocean. I wanted time to go get my own freaking matcha by myself. That is what I was clear on. And so I think having that clarity about what's going to move the needle for you, even if, again, it's just a morning routine or it's an evening routine or it's 20 minutes during the day, whatever allows you to reset your system, I think is a really great place to start.
Yeah. Have you, time by yourself, is that fairly new as you've gone deeper into perimenopause?
Yeah. Oh yeah. And it's probably the most sacred thing I can do for me.
Yeah. I had the same thing, and I pushed against it until I broke. So I just want to point out that one of the things, I'm an extrovert. I like being around people. I like human connection. But one of the things that I noticed as I got deeper and deeper into my perimenopause years is nothing calmed me or made me feel more peaceful than being by myself. And I think that a lot of that is because as these hormones shift, it's almost like our nervous system is raw. And if we get around the wrong people, the wrong situations, stressful events, it's very difficult to manage it because we don't have the same capacity that we had in our younger years. Is that how you feel as well?
I think most women, there's no break. There's no break from work to home. Unless you've got a bit of a commute, but you're fighting traffic. So that doesn't feel like a break either. Your nervous system is just on hypervigilant mode. You're running from one thing to the next, whether that's packing lunches or making sure their socks washed. You know what I'm saying? That the list is constant and endless. And I'll tell you what, if I'm in my house, even alone, there's always things yelling at me.
Oh, yeah.
Always. I can't go downstairs without seeing everything out of place. Dishes that need to be handled. I went downstairs to the kitchen and I tried to put dishes in the dishwasher and the dishwasher was clean. And I was just like, because I was like, I didn't plan for that 5 minutes.
Yeah. Right, exactly. The interesting thing to me about perimenopause is I do feel like it sideswipes you.
Yeah.
Because you're just like kind of going along normal life. And then all of a sudden you can't sleep. And then all of a sudden every little things are annoying you. And the next thing you know, you're sweating. And then all of a sudden you're gaining weight, but you didn't really change anything. And it's like year after year, there's just another symptom. You talk about silent shifts. Can you explain a little more what that means? Because of all the menopausal phases, I think this is the sneakiest one, which again is why I think your book is so important, because we need to, if we could catch it in this moment, it would make the rest of the menopausal experience so much better.
this is the window of opportunity because it's the window of vulnerability. It's women are calling this the zone of chaos or like the transition of chaos. The reason why we're calling it that is because the symptoms are so loud. They are so disruptive. And when I think about the silent shifts that are happening behind the scenes, I think it's important to note that as you and Dr. Stacey Sims and so many of us have said over the years, that we are not small men. This isn't bikini medicine where hormones are only impacting our boobs and our ovaries and our uterus. They are neuromodulators. They are immune system modulators. They are changing the gut microbiome. They are helping the bone to remodel. They are helping muscles to grow and build. They are affecting our insulin levels, our blood glucose variability. I'm talking every single system in the body is reliant on these chemical messages. And so when they begin to erratically decline, and for some of us, it is more severe than others, depending on when it starts for us, note that there are silent shifts happening that we are not necessarily paying attention to. And our doctors often aren't looking at as well, including we know that as estrogen drops, insulin resistance goes up. We know that glucose variability becomes more variable, and more women get diagnosed with prediabetes in perimenopause than any other transition. Right? We know that blood pressure is changing. Again, unless you're looking at your blood pressure regularly, you're not going to see that silent creep up towards hypertension. We also know that lipids are going up unfavorably as we start to lose estrogen because cholesterol helps to make our hormones. We're not making them anymore, right? So that is shifting. Inflammation is increasing, particularly in the brain and in the gut and in the body. We know that our stress response system is more deregulated than ever before. Like there's these silent shifts of inflammation, of loss of bone, loss of muscle, metabolic changes, inflammation in the brain that puts our cardiometabolic health at risk. And a lot of this is happening well before we get into menopause, although we're not looking at these biomarkers, we're not looking at the DEXA scan, we're not looking at a lot of these shifts happening until after our period has ceased for more than 12 months.